Good evening. Hello. Testing. Hello. Good evening. Yes. It's me. The one and only. Creator of The Travelers. We've got 8 waiting? That's awesome. Welcome to the 8 who are waiting before the stream even started. 10 minutes late. Punishment time. Yes, it wouldn't be a Taragadude stream if I wasn't horribly late. Yeah, so I set the stream schedule. I sat down, I got all ready, and then my mom wanted me to change the litter in the litter box, so I had to go do that. So here we are, 10 minutes later. Litter is clean. Everything is good. And yeah, so we've got big plans for what to do for this live stream. We've got lots to get done because, I don't know, I guess I'm not behind since it's my own schedule, but there's still lots to do. Lots and lots to do. So I've got a big list of improvements that I have here before we start working on crafting. So bear with me for a single moment while I go through this. Pepsi Boy is, in fact, the oldest Taragadude fan in terms of age. Tim F., Fast Vincent, Nogans, oh, Nonagon, hello. Pepsi Boy, welcome to the stream, my friends. Okay, so let's get started. First on the list is open up the live stream and pop out the chat so that I can see it outside the window right here. That's the first thing I needed to do. Second thing to do, yeah, so I can see it on the same monitor instead of looking at my laptop the whole time. So first, I want to add, okay, so when the monument appears on the screen when you're walking to it as part of like the tutorial thing, I want the check world notifs and logs button to I want it to log it, so it'll say like a cool message in chat. So that's what I want to do. How do you auto run or whatever it's called? You click the auto button and then you click a direction. After this update, the next update is going to be v0.0.8 pre-alpha. The first patch that I implement for that, I'm going to build the tutorial for. So hopefully we'll be able to start marketing the game more without having to explain the cycles concept to every individual person. No, you're not stupid. It's some people can pick it up quickly, but for some people, like it's kind of an unusual concept, cycles and stuff. So some people just don't understand, and that's fine. So once the tutorial's in and explains it for you, then it'll be a little easier to market. 10 watching now, nice. We're 12 subscribers from 100, which is pretty cool. Do not subscribe or bot me, please. It'll kill my channel. But if we can hit 100, then I can get the URL, youtube.com/Taragadev, which would be pretty neat. Okay, so anyway, yes. T Frost, are you in the Tim F? Are you T first in my Discord? Oh my gosh, Ivan the Russian has like 8 Travelers windows open. No wonder there's so many people online. Sheesh. 17 Travelers online? Is that all you, Ivan? My gosh. He's opening all the same windows. Luckily for you guys, I actually just implemented a nice feature. If you see IP right here, I'm basically adding your IP and associating it with the account you're logged on to. So, obviously it's not going to prevent any actual botnets or VPNs or anything, but it'll be a soft way to keep people from logging on a million times in different browsers on the same computer. So yeah, those days will be over in v0.0.8 unless you're willing to invest in VPNs and stuff. So as you can see here, the function is get user IP, remove the IP from the memory if it exists at all. And then if IP isn't blank, because if this fails to get it, it'll just be blank. It'll add the IP to the connection to IP list. It'll add the IP to the IP to connection list. This is just like this is a dumb C# way. I don't know why C# doesn't just have a straight like key to key pair. Why it has to be key value so that you access the key to get the value, and then you have to do the same thing with opposites like this. I don't know why it's like that in C#. I don't know if other languages have a feature where it can just be key to key that both reference each other, but otherwise it can't just call the value. It has to iterate through every single value in the list in order to find the key. So it's more memory efficient to do it like this, and then if I want one or the other, I derive it from the key and value of either. Anyway, point being, I add your IP and associate it with the connection, which means that if you do try to connect from the same IP, it will remove it. It'll remove it. So yeah, you're screwed now. Yeah, remove user from memory here takes the, it gets the user IP and it removes it. And it does the same thing, vice versa. Actually, I need to... Actually, that's a little exploit that I just noticed. Well, not really an exploit, it's just bad code. Out string set con ID, I'll just call it. And then we go mem.con ID to IP. It's just going to be the same thing here. That way the IP that comes out of the mem.ip to connection is actually getting the right thing. Why did you do that? Try get value. There we go. That's actually a functioning form of that method. Yeah, you have a VPN. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Break my game, please. I love when people try to break my stuff. Someone asked earlier if well, I'll ever like ban anyone or punish people for exploiting bugs, and the easy answer to that is absolutely not, because I'm not going to be able to stop you anyway, so I'll just annoy people. Okay, Tim Frost. I keep saying Frost. That's because that's your Discord name, right? I asked that a minute ago, but I didn't see your answer. Tim First. I'm assuming T First in Discord and Tim F in this are the same person. But yeah, I'll read your little paragraph here. T First. Okay, yeah, you're the same person. Cool. Taragadude, one of the key features of a dark room and candy box is that features slowly appear over time. I think that would be something that could benefit this game. I actually am intending to do that for the tutorial. So for the 100 tile walk that you take from spawning in to getting to 0, crap, I gotta log in. What the heck were... There we go. My localhost account. So yeah, as you're walking, each of these are going to fade in with an explanation of what they are. So like when you first spawn, it'll just be the grid and the arrows, and then you'll take a step towards the box that spawns with you, and you collect the stuff from the box and you keep going, and then the supplies box will fade in to show that you collected those things. And as you take a few more steps, the events box will fade in and say, this is where your event lock is, yada yada, stuff like that. And then your level will fade in because you'll level up at about 50 XP. You're definitely going to level up before you reach the world center. That's by design. So then this will fade in when you level up for the first time. And then in the bottom right, crafting will fade in eventually to demonstrate that you can craft with your items. So yeah, I actually am implementing that. It won't be as long of a time scale as a Darkroom and Candy Box, because those games implement features like that for the entire game. Like there's end game things where they implement new features. But for me, I'm just going to show everything at once, because this is an MMO. This is an ongoing thing. All the features are going to be there. So, and new features that you find will be through items, not through UI. So if that makes sense. First equals... As a registered psychologist, I think that you know someone named Tim Frost in real life. Pepsi Boy, delete that right now, or I'm removing your mod status. That was an empty threat, by the way. Yes, that makes sense. Cool. Cool, cool. So we're on the same page. All right, first thing I wanted to do was world.check notifs, check world notifs and logs, whatever that giant name I called that was. Tim called me out for naming this a really long name. Check world notifs and logs in the Discord. That was funny. I'm going to make another one of these so that it checks if the monument is on the screen. So here I'm basically just going to copy paste this yet again. That's actually the wrong thing. I don't want to copy that. So this is Bull House, Bull City, Bull Edge, Bull Prox Edge, Bull Ocean. So this one is going to be Bull Mon. for monument. World that has. World has? Oh, right. That's a mini function I put in here. I thought it declared an anonymous global function somewhere. I was wondering why I would do that, because I'm trying to not do that as much as possible. Mafia Manager. Mafia Manager, the other game that I made, the .js for that is just like a 5,000 line long JavaScript file full of anonymous global functions. It's an absolute mess. And that's about when I learned to start structuring it with this like class-like format in JavaScript. So this is way more organized. Anyway, so this should be monument. So if settings.notifHouse equals true, we're not going to notify from when you get close to the monument. If world.prev step had house, so I got to do prev step had mon. So if world.prev step had mon and bool mon, then we're not going to do a notification. We're going to do an engine log, and we're going to say world.prevStep hadmon is true, and then these two need to also be hadmon. Notice stop, we don't need that, and that should be it. Alright, now it's time to flex my creative bad streamer isn't reading chat and making funny reactions, just talking to myself. Shut the heck up, Pepsi boy, and let me develop my stupid game. I was at a bull house a few weeks ago, and that's what you're salty about? That's not even a funny joke. Sheesh. 3 people in chat and 9 people watching. Hey, I'll take it. I think 9 is the most for this channel so far. We hit 10 a few minutes ago, so that's cool. Alright, time to flex my creative writing muscles. Oh, so the monument. You walk up to the monument. You see it for the first time ever. Absolutely wild, crazy experience. Because you just were living your life innocently before. You were doing something. You don't know what. And then instantly you're just laying in this ash. Like you don't know how you got there. You don't know what happened. You're just laying in the ash. You get up. All your memories are pulled away. You start walking towards where this tracker is telling you to go. And then a massive, I say massive a lot, colossal, enormous, I don't really say enormous that much, but enormous is a bad word, kind of. I really like massive and colossal. I don't really like gigantic and enormous as much. Let's say enormous for now. And enormous. Oh my gosh, Tim F said enormous with a U in chat. Like this U right here. ENOU. And now I don't know if it's ENO or ENOU. I'm pretty sure it's ENOR. If someone could check that for me. Towering, big. I use towering already too. One big thing about writing, I wrote a novel, by the way. So that's why the writing in this game is not complete garbage. When you write a 90,000 word novel for 3 years, your writing style gets good and you learn how to write really well. One of the things that I learned about writing is you need to use the same word as few times as you possibly, or same noun. Any noun or descriptive word, or verb, I guess. Like the mini words like and the don't matter, but like important words, you try to use as few and far between times as you possibly can. So, if I were to say enormous right now, I would not want to say the word enormous again within like 5 paragraphs if I were writing a book. Unless there's a word that specifically only has like one word, like door. I hate the word door because you can't really say door in any other way than the word door. So I always have to try to avoid saying the word door as much as I possibly can, because once I use it, I get annoyed that I have to use it more often because there's only one word for door. Yeah, entrance, portal to another room. Yeah, I'll say entrance, threshold, but those still aren't door. Like if you're just going from one room to another room and you have to open a door, say a fight happens while you're like walking through that door and the door's like banging around and stuff, you have to keep saying the word door. You can't say entrance anymore. You can't say threshold anymore. It's just door. Yeah, I hate the word door. If you're running on the road, you got road, asphalt, street, lane, cement. Cement is a stretch, but you can have all these words that you can say and divide. Door just doesn't have any other words. Unless it's like at the front of a building and you can say entrance, or the back of a building and you can say exit. It's just door. Search for books written that contain a fight where the word door is referenced multiple times. There's my door rant. Yeah, I've written a 90,000 word novel, and I hate the word door. I don't know if there's any other writers out there who can relate, but it's a horrible word, and no one should use it ever. Anyway, so an enormous, because this is like a, pole is a weak word, but it's like a sort of square of like deep purple rock that like extends into the sky and goes beyond the cloud of ash. So, yeah, I posted it in Discord forever ago. I put it on Pastebin, which was a dumb idea. I have the Word document, which I could put in Discord, or you could buy it on. I put it on Amazon under my William Alfredson name up here, but it doesn't really. Like I don't get any money from it. Amazon just takes the money, and I don't know what happens to it. So. I also, I'm not going to release the novel to you guys right now anyway. I'm kind of in the process, like off and on, rewriting it completely because, as much as my writing style has improved, when you go back and read stuff that you read a long time ago, or read stuff that you wrote a long time ago, you notice how much you've improved versus how bad it was back then. So the first couple chapters of the book needed to be completely rewritten. I literally deleted most of them and rewrote them from scratch entirely. So it's still the same plot and everything, but I still rewrote most of it. And because of that, I've actually changed a couple small plot points. So if I were to just give it to you now mid rewrite, it just wouldn't make sense. So remind me in whenever I finish The Travelers plus 3 months, that's when you should remind me. Yeah, scenario, Jeevan. Wait, did you actually find it on Amazon? Yeah, please don't read it. It's actually, the first couple chapters are actually not that good. The first chapter's fine, because I rewrote the first chapter 10 times. The chapters after that are not that good. William Alfredson. Is that all you have to type into Amazon for it to... Yeah, it's right there. That's all you have to do to make it come up. That's funny. Yeah, that's my book. Yeah, you can read the first 5 chapters for free, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about the price. Anyway, this is a programming stream, and I've been talking about random things for 17 minutes. How do I describe this enormous pillar? An enormous pillar of deep purple. Hold on. Let me see how I describe it in the events, just to make sure I'm staying consistent. Monuments. Get monument stage. That's right here. So this is the description. Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to change this to northern. At the northern ocean, because I have a picture of the world map that I generated. You guys can actually generate that too if you're good at JavaScript. But I have a picture of the world map, so I know where the nearest ocean is to spawn. And if you walk straight north, that's the nearest ocean. It's 3,000 or 4,000 blocks away, tiles away. So yeah, I need to change the sepulcher to be at the northern ocean. That's the first step of the puzzle, and that's not done yet. So I described this as a colossal structure reaches for the sky, its surface a translucent and deep purple. It is cool to the touch, and at eye level, an engraving has been etched roughly into the hard rock. Did I say rock already? I did not say rock already. Okay. See what I mean? You have to be careful about the word that you say multiple times. This isn't just a developing... Amazing book. Author must be a brilliant... Who? Someone reviewed my book? What the heck? Who in the world is this? That's August 17th, 2018. Wow, it's been a long time since I checked for reviews on the book. After I put the book on Amazon, I checked it for a couple months to see if there were any reviews, if just by chance, and then I forgot to check. That's a really funny review. Amazing book, lots of twists and turns. Author must be a brilliant mind. Wow, I'm super flattered, and I really hope that's not a family member of mine who wrote that to be funny. But I feel like it is. I feel like that's a family member. That That was a fake reaction and proves that he wrote it. Pepsi Boy, you're a fake person and you don't like Pepsi. But I know you're going to say that was a fake angry reaction. And because of that, it must be true because I'm being defensive. That's a really funny review. I got to ask my family members if one of them wrote that. I definitely did not write that myself, I promise. Brilliant mind. Pepsi Boy is just Taragadut's alt. Yep, there you go. That's why whenever Pepsi Boy writes something in chat, I'm not doing anything at the same time. Should any who lives find this monument? I gotta change the wording of that or something. But anyway, alright, I got the description. So, an enormous pillar dominates the... Wait, I actually have this too. Let me copy this line so I don't copy it up here by accident. Because I wrote here, because this is the mouse over text, so I wanted to make sure it's not too similar to this either. A massive monument, an imposing figure on the surrounding landscape, made of some kind of deep purple material. It reaches high enough to poke through the floating ash in the sky. Was that a typo right there, that period? A monument. No, it wasn't a typo. All right, an enormous pillar. A pillar of stone. No, but you don't know it's stone. That's the thing. Did the stream die? Oh no. Well, crap. I don't know if you guys can hear me right now. I don't know if it'll send the rest to the server. Or to YouTube. But my Wi-Fi has been bad lately. It like cuts in and out. Stream did not die? You can still hear me? Oh, maybe it's just the Wi-Fi then. Because my computer is connected by Ethernet. But my laptop is definitely not connected to Wi-Fi right now, so... Alright, anyway, I'll stop getting distracted. An enormous pillar of stone dominates the sky. Resonating. No, it's not making sound. Glowing. A deep purple. I'm going to say rock here because that seems less specific than stone. An enormous pillar of rock dominates the sky. A deep purple. Its face a deep and smooth purple. It towers straight up over. It towers straight up and pierces the clouds of ash, causing them to separate from the direction they were moving and giving a small glimpse into the blue sky beyond. An enormous pillar of rock dominates the sky, its face a deep and smooth purple. It towers straight up and pierces the clouds of ash, causing them to separate from the direction they were moving, and giving a glimpse into the blue sky beyond. Last part sounds bad, causing them to separate? Yeah, it does sound bad. I need to rephrase this part. Pierces the clouds of ash. Separating them? Separating them is better, but I want a better word. What do you say when you say Moses blank the Red Sea? Parted, that's it. Parting them. Parting in their orbit. Actually, parting them isn't as good of a word as separating them. Splitting. Appears as the cloud of ash. Splitting them and revealing. A small glimpse of the blue sky beyond. There, that's way better. An enormous pillar of rock dominates the sky, its face a deep and smooth purple. It towers straight up and pierces the clouds of ash, splitting them and revealing a small glimpse of the blue sky beyond. Did I say piercing the clouds? No, I didn't. It towers straight up. I don't like that either. Tower straight down. Let's just say it pierces the cloud of ash. Just that. Its face is smooth, a deep and smooth purple. It pierces the clouds of ash, splitting them and revealing a small glimpse. How about splitting them to reveal a small glimpse of the blue sky beyond? All right, I think that's as good as it's going to get. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and cross that one off the list. All right, next on the list is make respawn acknowledge chunks. What the heck did I mean by that? Oh, right. Okay, so right now the respawn mechanic does not check the chunk that you're respawning in to see if you're landing on top of an existing object. So let's go ahead and make it do that. Where's respawn? Respawn. No, respawn is generate unique coordinates. Yeah. Jack Co. Hey, glad I can make it. Playing the game right now. Nice. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Excuse me. Alright, so generate unique coordinates. Radiates out and x, out and y. So we have our x and y here, which means we can declare a chunk. I'll just call it chunk equals new chunk. What the heck? Oh, no. I have to get from the... I gotta go chunks dot... Yeah, chunks dot get chunk ID, so x comma y. And then I gotta go into mem dot chunk list, and then grab the chunk from the chunk list according to the chunk ID. So chunk ID here, this is just a little bit of math that see, figuring out this sucked. Yeah. This is just a little bit of math that makes sure that every single chunk in the world has a unique ID based on distance, or based on the x. And so I divide the whole world into 100 by 100 grids. That's what this does. So this gets the nearest 100. It divides the world into 100 by 100 blocks, and then we say, all right, we get the ID based on it. So like the very top left chunk in the entire world, the negative 20,000 positive 20,000 chunk, is ID 0. And then the one right next to that, which is negative 19,900 comma positive 20,000, is ID 1. And so on until we get to ID 159,999 at the bottom right of the world. This little function right here gets that for you. And then when we're finding proximity chunks, that way when I check the 9 surrounding chunks, we get the chunk that you're in, and then the 8 surrounding chunks are just, plus 1, minus 1, plus 399, minus 399, plus 401, minus 401, plus 400, minus 400. It's kind of difficult to explain if you're not following, but this just gets the 9 surrounding chunks around you and then checks all of them, checks all of the proximity of them to see if it sends it to you. So basically, at any given moment, you're only checking in a 300 by 300 radius around your character to see if there's any nearby objects or users. And by doing that, I can reduce a lot of lag. So that rather than checking against every single item and user in the entire world, we only have to check the proximity around you. Is thetravelers known for his soon-to-be famous game, The Travelers? Yes, this is me. And Flying Eagle 123, I love my job as a developer. I really love what I do. Anyway, so I've got the chunk. This chunk, according to the X and Y random that we generated when the user respawns, is... Yeah, this chunk, according to the user that respawns, we're going to check every single item in here to see if the user is standing on top of it. If the user is standing on top of any item in this chunk, then we skip and we regenerate. We do generate unique coordinates again. So I probably have to put another bool out here. We got to go bool chunk success equals false. And then while chunk success or so while true, we'll keep doing this. These all will evaluate the false if they fail. So if chunk is false, this will evaluate it to true, and then it will do the do again, where we will add 25% of the radius to the failure. So we're basically going further and further out from spawn every time a grab fails. Or every time a generation fails. And then, yeah, so we're going to base off of chunk success. So if chunk success is true, then we go check the next thing. If it could be a city or house, if it's not a city or house, then we check the next thing. If invalid stand contains it, which is really just water and world edge, we go to the next thing. And then we check the database to see if we're accidentally standing on top of any user. Actually, since I'm getting chunks, I don't have to do this part anymore. This is actually a really slow, bad part. But since the chunk has the user, I don't have to do the SQL statement anymore. So that's pretty cool. Fun fact. I do still have to do isPlace because every house and city in the world is not recorded. Houses and cities in the world are only indicated by the world generation algorithm. So this actually has to do the world generation to check if it's a house or city. And this definitely has to, and this just checks if it's water or not. So, yeah. Found a way to spawn a city on every block I walk on. That's how I got to level 113. Yeah, sure. As though you're not some elite, super hardcore player. Alright, so we're going to do for each key value pair. Is that what it is? No, it's ints. For each integer object ID in chunk dot objects. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing for users. So for each user ID in chunk dot players, is that what I called it? Yes. So we're going to say int o for object x equals. Actually, can I borrow from the proximity checking function instead of rewriting this? Because I know I wrote this already. Yeah, this right here. For each... Alright, I'm actually going to copy this because what I need to do is slightly different. So I'm going to copy it and change it. On your way to level... So, after the update, I'm actually going to be forcing the level changes instead of letting them glitch out like it did before. So, Pepsi, you're going to be reverted down to like level 55 or so after this update. Sorry. Anyway, so we don't need to say other user ID. We don't need to check that. Yeah, the new levels, since I'm nerfing XP, your new level will be based on your actual new your current XP count. So your level will be reduced, your skill points will be reduced, and everything will be set back to 0, and you'll have to redo your skill points and stuff. No, don't do that. Well, I have to do that until XP is good, so good thing we're in pre-alpha. Yeah, this is the new XP generation algorithm. Anyway, I really have to finish this because I keep letting chat distract me, which is fun and all, but I'm getting no work done, and it's 8:15. I only have so many hours in the evening. So we're going to say user ID in chunk.players. Why did I delete the old thing that I did? Chunk.objects. And we're going to say UX, UY, and then we're going to say, and then we're just going to skip, yeah. So now here we're going to say if UX equals X and UY equals Y, that means you're standing on top of another player, and that's actually wrong because I want to check if you're within 15 blocks of another player, tiles of another player anyway. So we're going to do X, Y. Now we're doing the absolute value. This function is what I'm stealing from SQL, so that's nice. Actually, wait. I can't just check this chunk for players if I'm removing it from SQL. I actually have to check all 9 chunks. Alright, well, good thing I already have a function for this. So, actually I'm dumb and I already have things that do this. So I need to do find nearby. Alright, I'm going to make an overload for this, because I'm taking user ID right now, but I want it to be able to also take the X and the Y. Because surrounding chunks, chunk ID, find player chunk ID, user ID. Yeah, I want a overload of this. That just does this bottom part. Then we can copy the rest of this. We got to initialize these. And then we copy this whole bottom part down into here. Surrounding chunks. Actually, this part needs to go into here as well. So chunk ID, we just add it straight into here. Yada yada, bada bing, bada boom. That goes out. Find nearby. What's your problem? It's because... Oh, okay, I get it. It's because the overload already exists for the integer. So how do I get around that? Yeah, pretty sure everyone online right now is that one dude's alt. Good thing I'm adding IP checking in the next update. Oh my gosh, my voice sucks. I don't know what happened since I quit YouTube, but my voice, every time I talk a lot, my voice just, and my throat gets all stuffed like this, and I have to clear it a bunch. Haha, you fool, I have VPNs. Yeah, I know, I can't prevent it completely, but I can soft prevent it. I can prevent noobs who don't really have the ability to do that. Right, what was I trying to do here? I need to figure out an overload. Simple Dog, welcome to the stream. I am not your daddy. I'm just a YouTuber on the internet. Crap, how do I get around this? Because this is an integer. This is the chunk ID. I mean, I could be really cheesy and... No, I can't actually. I think out parameters have to be on the ends. Can I not? Whoa, what the heck? Stop that. Sheesh. Freaking Windows just does whatever it wants. I hit one button and Windows goes insane. My gosh. Anyway. What are your plans for the game overall? Or this is a small side project. I have giant plans for this game, and it's going to be amazing. String LOL ignore this equals this, so it's a default parameter, and that way I can have the overload. Ha! That's funny. That's a really good function right there, guys. That way I can have an overload of this that's the same type. Alright, you use GNU/Linux, you goof, because why not? Because why the heck not? Windows plays video games, you goof. There you go, there's your answer. Alright, so and then we're just gonna find nearby, chunk ID, nearby players, out nearby players, out nearby objects. Enormous plants towering even, yes. Okay, so this is gonna out nearby players and objects. Not exist add. I'm gonna make you a boolean and return true if it actually added the chunk. So that's gonna return false. This is gonna return true. And the reason for that, so that I can say if wait, hold on a second. I actually don't even need to do that right here. All right, I'm going to forget about that for now. I didn't need to do that. Because this is creating it. Not exist add is making it if it doesn't exist no matter what. And then I'm just finding what's nearby and returning it. I believe I'm using find nearby when I step. So that's why it's creating the chunk if it doesn't exist. Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. So I probably should pull this out and put it on the actual step function, which is in time. In movement here. So is it in chunks.newMove, and then I go find nearby in here? No? Where do I do find nearby? Alright, I'm recursing this for the double step. That's what that is. So where's get new direction call? Because this is where we get the new X and Y. It's not in chunk.newMove. Am I blind? Find player chunk ID. New chunk ID is get chunk ID from that. Wait, what the heck? Why am I getting the... So I have new X and new Y right here. Oh, right. Chunk equal new chunk ID. So chunk doesn't equal new chunk ID. Then we're removing the player from the previous one. If the chunk is empty, we're deleting it. And then if the new chunk doesn't exist, then we add it. So new move is just... Okay, so yeah, new move is just... That's all it's doing. I have 110 subscribers? What the heck? No, I don't. Are you memeing me right now? Some kind of fat meme? This is. Wow, you got my hopes up. 110.8? What is that little symbol? Alright, whatever. I gotta stop looking at chat. Here I am trying to talk to chat and everything. Got 11 viewers watching. And I'm just getting tricked. It's an octal. Oh. Alright then. Okay. 110 and base 8. That's a funny one. I didn't see the little 8 there. Anyway. Why can't I find where find nearby is being used? Oh, I know where find nearby is being used. It's being used in... I know where it's being used, I swear. It's being used right here when we add nearby players and objects. And then we're going find nearby. So instead of doing what this is doing right now... So find nearby currently is only used in here. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to do a search on the entire solution here just to make certain, but I'm pretty sure these are the only 4 spots where find nearby is used. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just made that. And an add nearby players and objects. Yeah, those are the only places. Alright, so that means I can safely change this. I'm going to pull this out. Yeah, that's not where that should be done anyway. This is going to break, but let me do this out here. So yeah, that's my new function. What I want to go to is... I'm going to bring this over here real fast. I'm going to do a peek so that I don't have to go back and forth between these. So instead of find nearby this user ID, we're going to go int chunk ID equals user ID. If it doesn't exist, add the chunk. Which means I'm going to have to do chunks.notExist add for both of these. And then feed the chunk into here. And then that will be feeding this overload. Which means I can get rid of this. And I can also get rid of this. So that's the better way to do that, because now we're just finding, we're finding everything that could be within some proximity of this chunk, because it's on a basis of the chunk anyway. It's not on the basis of the player's exact position. We're calculating the player's exact position down here. So when we do generate unique coordinates, we're going to take the chunk ID of the new coordinates and then out the list of players and then out the list of objects. This turned into way bigger of a hairball than I thought it was going to. So I don't need to do that anymore either. Then chunk doesn't exist anymore, so then I just go by these two. 9 more subs to 100. What is this in base, like 9.5 or something? Oh hey, we actually did get 3 more subscribers. Guys, like I said, please do not make fake accounts to subscribe. I do not want to hit 100 with fake accounts. It will kill my channel. Please do not. Please. I'm being 100% serious when I say that. Please don't. Alright, everything should be good now. None of these things should be breaking anymore. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. I'll start muting the microphone when I have to cough like that. Alright, anyway. So where was I? So that's good. Now you can go back to comment and actually check the find nearby of the chunk ID, which is what we were trying to do in the first place. Yeah, I can't stop you from fake accounts to play the Travelers, but please don't for YouTube, because that only affects me negatively. Alright, so we got UX minus X. If the absolute value of this is less than or equal to 15, that means we're sending it to the client. In this case, we're just going to say break because chunk success equals true. If chunk success equals true, that means we're testing the Well, wait a second. Okay, wait, I gotta do this in reverse. I gotta do this as true. Chunk empty is true. And then chunk empty becomes false when we find something. So that way if we find something, when we get down to here, we say, while true, because if it's false, that means this value to the true, and then we do it again. All right, so chunk empty equals false. We're gonna do the same thing down here. Yeah, so OX and OY. So if OX, OY, so if an object, actually this is okay. This is so that no players are on the screen when you respawn, but I only want houses and cities and stuff to not be within 6 blocks of you. Because the tile, the starting box can spawn up to 5 tiles away. So I'm going to make this 7 instead of 15. It's okay if a house or city is on the same viewing window as you, as long as it's not possibly spawning on top of the... Or as long as it's not going to let the starting box accidentally spawn on top of an item. So that's way better. So we're going to break... If this... Let's say... That way we only have to run through this calculation if the first one fails. Alright, so chunk empty, if this didn't find anyone, chunk empty will be true, so then we check the users, and then radius plus equals 25. And then chunk empty, if it evaluated to false, it becomes true, and then we do this again. Bada bing, bada boom. That's 10 times better than before, because now we're not doing a database call 100 times if we keep spawning on top of someone. Is a null boolean register as true or false? I don't think booleans can evaluate to true, but if you make a nullable boolean, like that can certainly be null, but I mean it's not gonna, like, it's just gonna be, it doesn't evaluate to anything, it's just null. Null just means it has no value. Like, it's gonna be true or false if you give it a value, otherwise it's just null. So it just doesn't have a value. I mean, what you could say is you could say let I, like this is JavaScript, so like integer I equals so like if you want to set this as something based on XA, you're gonna have to check if it's null first, and then you could say, you know, if it's null then it's false, and then if that's true then I is 1, otherwise it's 0. So you could do something like that, but it's kind of pointless because you're evaluating for true or false anyway. I guess this could be like a cheating way to make like a triple boolean, so you could say like, you know, XA equals null question mark, that it's 2, otherwise XA equals, XA is true, then it's 1, otherwise it's 0. And you can do something like that. This has to be in parentheses because it's confused. It actually doesn't like that I'm checking it because it could possibly be null. So I'll just put this in here anyway, even though it's not going to be null because we just checked if it's null, but just so C# doesn't have an aneurysm. Anyway, that's a little coding lesson on booleans and nulls, which we're not going to use because that's just stupid. All right, I'm just going to put this into the changelog as improved respawn mechanism. Do not spawn I don't know, just to be faster and not spawn on existing objects. There. All right, next on the list, click for more info and supplies. That's going to be for crafting soon. Draw arrows. I'm going to do that in patch 1. Sort needs to be by a title, but not name. Yes, someone pointed that out in the Discord. I don't know if he's here right now, but they found a bug where in supplies, if you click the sort button, then the sort happens by name instead of title. So he noticed that energy cell is on top of the list. That's because its name is technically battery, but its title is energy cell, which makes it appear out of order. So instead, this needs to be a dot title. Anywhere else that's being used? No? All right, so now it's going to be alphabetically ordered by title, and that's an easy bug fix. Write that down in the change log. I'm going to get some water. I will be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. If you go anywhere, I'm going to hunt you down and murder you. All right, I'm back. What happens if you log into the same account on 2 different tabs? I don't know. Try it. Yeah, it disconnects you, so literally nothing will happen. I mean, I guess you could technically set your settings cookies between tabs, but that's, I guess, the only thing you can do. The JavaScript still works, but you're disconnected. Can I read your idea? Carrots, no. I'm not reading your idea. Alright, so next on the list is fix prev biome not applying for mountains. Yes, Tim Frost himself noticed this issue. Wow, I'm in a mountain right now, so I can test this. It worked for me. Cascading rocks finally dispersed, revealing the broken wasteland ahead. The wasted sands yield to colossal mountains, their peaks shrouded by the floating ash. Moves to the bottom again. That's interesting. But I'm pretty sure I've seen this not work in the Travelers before. 20 Travelers online? Oh my gosh, we gotta purge. We have to purge these bots. So, but it doesn't change here, and I don't know why. You know what? Actually, okay, I did fix this. The problem is that in the code, Wasteland is a capital W, and that's the only time in the entire history of the code that I've accidentally put a capital letter there. So that's what it is. It's because there's a capital W there, so it doesn't work. So that means that I fixed that. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that off the list, and if it's still there after the update, let me know. Do I have that in the changelog already? I don't think I do. I'm going to put it there anyway. All right, fix wasteland biome having capital letter. All right, next is change monument wording to Northern Ocean. Actually did that. Cross that off. Default carry limit to 100. Yes, so carry limit is extremely low right now. I was thinking about how much everything weighs and how much stuff everyone already has in this game, and that's extremely low. So let's go on over to XP and set base carry from 50 to 100. And carry skill increment, I'm going to upgrade from 5 to, let's do 10. Or from 3 to 10. I was initially going to do 5, but I think 10 is a lot more fair because you're not going to want to put a lot of points into carry. You're going to be focusing on health, skill, and damage since there's PvP. So, you know, carry shouldn't be that low. So carry should be just enough that you have to upgrade it from time to time if you want to keep carrying stuff, but like, you know, it shouldn't be game changing or anything. So that's going to be 10. And I don't think there's anything else I have to do about that. Actually, there is. I have to go to the HTML and change the +3 button for it to +10. Actually, I need to check that. Excuse me. I need to check if +10 breaks the CSS now that it's 3 characters instead of 2. Alright, let's build this real fast. We should also test that the chunk changes that we made didn't break by building as well. Hey Eric, welcome to the stream. Seems like chunks are working fine. I need to walk a little bit so I can see what that box looks like. Or I can just cheat and force the box to appear because I know what the name of the box is. xp.open skill box. Oh, I do not like that one bit. I don't like it. But what do I do? How do I fix this? Can I add like a secret like space to each of these? But that just looks stupid now. Can I do text align center? Apparently not. Wait, why does text align center not line this up in the center of this? Oh, it does. It is lining up in the center. There's just a space here now. I'm still dumb. I need to change the width of this to match it. So we gotta go 10. I don't know. How much is that? Oh, I actually lined it up perfectly. First try. Look at that. First try. Alright, so. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and add a little sneaky. Oh crap, that's not good though, because this is going to break the mobile view. Is it? It's not. It's not going to break the mobile view. Yes. Oh, it's a really good day. Let me just apply this to all of them, just to make sure, before I get too ahead of myself. I feel like it's going to break base damage. It does. Oh my gosh! Of course it breaks base damage. I guess I can just change that to DMG. Or like the whole word damage. Oh jeez. Oh jeez, how do I fix this? I hate this. My CSS here looks so nice. Alright, for starters, stat upgrade button has to be width 34 pixels. So I'm going to do that in CSS right now and then work around that. That's in stats.css. So width in there, and then I don't remember if it's actually aligned to center, but I'll just put the tag in there just to be safe. I need stats open still though. Imagine having faith the CSS might not break. I'm very confident in my CSS, actually. I think I'm very well versed. Why? Did I not refresh it right? Oh, it's logging me out because I logged in too many times too fast. Give it a second. Oh, is this some other issue? What else could have broken? Can't access lexical declaration bullhouse before initialization? That's probably because I messed this up somehow anyway. Yes, that's because this should be bullmon, not bullhouse. Someone actually might have pointed that out earlier. My CSS always cascades like sheets, but oh my gosh, what a dumb joke. What a dumb, awful, terrible, stupid joke. I'm sorry, that was... You know, we all make mistakes in the heat of passion. Anyway. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. How wide is this screen right here? See, guys, don't be like me. If you're styling your CSS, do not be like me. 1200 pixels. That's what we're going to change the new media query to. Alright, we don't change it in there. It's like 11 something. The biggest one is 1170. We're changing this to 1200, boys. There, easy fix. Don't be like me. Do not do that. Fix it properly. You're a bad person if you're like me. The only excuse I have for doing that is that it's not greater than 1280 yet. If it's bigger than 1280, then there's no point in having a media query because the only two monitor sizes, because those are the only two monitor sizes in that range. It's, you know, whatever's less than 1280, whatever's more than 1920, but it goes 1280 to 1920 in length. Point being, it's okay if I move it up from 1170 to 1280, to 1200. It's not okay if I move from 1200 to 1300, because then it's skipping 1280. So yeah, now this works. Wait, no, it doesn't? Still breaks? Are you kidding me? Did I not? Oh wait, you know, I don't. I think I didn't refresh the page. Yeah, I did. Don't worry, guys. I'm just dumb. Open this up. Bang. Nice. Actually, now that I cheated, I think I might be able to change carry to max carry. No, I can't. Alright, that's going to stay as carry. 45 pixels. That is a shame, my friend. I've got 2000. Oh crap, what is the other? My monitor is 1440p, but I can't remember how many pixels across that is. It's like 2400 something. Let me look it up. 1440p. It's 2560 pixels long is how big my monitor is. Alright, anyway, we fixed that. So, oh, look, see how this is still 50? I'm really glad I just noticed that. That means we need to go to XP and change max carry to 100. That actually doesn't matter. It's still 50 because it was set by that in the server, so it's fine. I'm just going to do this. Yeah, see, I still need to fix it somewhere. I'm pretty sure that is happening right here. One more time now. Plus 10. Why are you still doing plus 3? I need to hard refresh because it's JavaScript. There we go. Reset, plus 10, reset, X10. Beautiful. Upgrade. And carry is up to 60. Nice. Alright, that's another easy fix. Alright, what is next? Click for more info in supplies. Draw arrows, add bolt cutters. Alright. We have reached the point of no return. There's a couple other small fixes I want to do not streaming. for like lore reasons and stuff. But it is time to start crafting. So get hyped, my 12 loyal viewers. We're making crafting now. Alright, let's close this window. So, oh boy, let's craft. Now you guys get to see me build an entire feature from scratch. Okay, so, how do we start? Here's my plan for crafting. Let me outline this into the air. So, I was driving to work this morning when I thought of the whole thing. I'm one of those crazy people who don't even listen to podcasts if I'm captured with an idea. Like, sometimes I'll listen to podcasts on the way to work. Sometimes I'll listen to music. But, like, if I'm really thinking about something, then I can just think about it the whole drive to work. I drive, like, 45 minutes to work. My commute's kind of long. Well, no, it's more like half an hour. It's closer to half an hour than 45 minutes. It's not that bad. Anyway. So I thought of this on the drive to work this morning. Here's how this is going to work. Actually, let me open Notepad. So, crafting. It's probably too big. Crafting will be like Rust. You'll have a big list of items. You'll be able to craft them. But these items will only be shown by level. So, every 5 levels or every 10 levels, probably going to do every 10 levels, a new batch of craftable items will be sent to your client. Is this on wrap? Okay, cool. Will be sent to the client, and every time your supplies up... No, only every time your level updates. Every time level updates, we check if it's being updated. And then if it's an increment of 5 or 10, that's when we check chunks to see if we are going to send. And then we only send... And then we only send the craftable item list to the client on login or level up. Otherwise, clients will just retain the information. So, on top of that, we have blueprints. We need more exclamation points because blueprints are going to be really cool. When you find a blueprint, it will be added to a user ID data key called blueprints. Blueprints will be a J array of the names of items you can now craft because of the blueprint you learned. So, the craftable item list on login level up or blueprint activation. Can you not find blueprints? Well, I mean, you'll be able to. That's the idea. Yeah, listen to music on top of this. I'm not playing any music in the background. Feel free to put on your own stuff. How do you make Notepad bigger? Yeah, I'm holding Control and scrolling up and down, and it makes Notepad bigger. So this is our outline of crafting. From there, it's straightforward. You just click the craft button on the item in the crafting menu. And then... Actually, I'll write it down anyway. And it'll send to socket what you're doing, then the universal timer, then the cycle will add. Okay, so we're going to have to add a key called craft data to user ID data. With currently crafting items. So items are going to take time to craft on a basis of cycle count. So for instance, the shovel, which takes metal and wood to craft, will take, say, 5 cycles to craft. So that'll take 15 seconds in real life, 5 cycles in game. And I think that's it. Is your to-do list physical or notepad? It's a note in my MacBook. So yeah, it's digital. Do they take SP to craft? No, they will not. They will just take a lot of time. So you'll have to survive for a period of time and be logged into the game for a period of time in order to craft things. There will be end game items that take many, many cycles to craft. So obviously I'm not going to spoil anything, but cycle count has to potentially be limitless so that I can make the cycle count take like 1,000 cycles to craft, so that in 3,000 seconds, which is about an hour, you can craft something. Or we can do something like 10,000 cycles, which would take half of an entire day to craft. And then you have to survive for that long, which surviving isn't that hard anyway, but you get the idea. And then of course, don't forget, do not forget, we have to add in, what was I saying? We have to add in microtransactions to speed up crafting. Yay, money! How about that? Microtransactions, woo! EA. No, I'm just kidding. We will never do this. That is a horrible idea. Just donate me money instead. I'll put a donation link on the final game somewhere. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to put this back to like minimum size. Hide it down here under the screen because I have a 1440p screen. By the way, have I told you I have a 1440p screen? I have a 1440p screen, just by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, but I do have a screen that is 1440p. I'm going to hide this down here. Let's get started. So, how the heck do we even possibly start this? Alright, let's start with player initialization. So say blueprints. Oh, do I want to put that right on top of the user, though? Do I want to tuck this into like a key called crafting? No, because craft adding, I want to conditionally appear. I want it to only be there if you're actually crafting something. That way it's easier to check if you're actually crafting something. So it's going to say blueprints. And then leave it at that. And then we'll add craft data if we need to. Which, by the way, I do the same thing for events and loot. When you're looting something or when you're in an event, I add to your data a key called craft data. Or events underscore data and loot underscore data. If he adds building, people will make spirals and vortexes. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be building yet. Microtransactions to change the ampersand into a dollar sign. I actually was planning to offer something like that. I was gonna like for donators. I was gonna offer like a way for if you donate any amount of money, I can change your symbol to one of like 10 approved characters or something. You know, like exclamation point at symbol and ampersand stuff like that. Alright, so blueprints is on. Actually, I said JArray. Doesn't need to be a J object because you can only have one of each blueprint, so it's a JArray. Okay. So let's go to player and create. Blueprints. What the heck am I typing right now? Deep clone just makes it so that when I get this list of blueprints, I can do whatever I want to the JArray that I return without screwing up the actual user ID data. Jarray? You pronounce that as a single word? That's gross. No, I say JArray, but Jarray is funny too. I guess when you say JArray, it kind of sounds like you're saying it as one word. JArray? Well, what am I supposed to say? JSON array? JavaScript object notation array? Get the heck out of my stream. No, please stay. You can stay in my stream. It's okay. Hey, how long are you going? Been playing the last couple days and had some comments, but busy right now. Long going in the stream, you mean? I'm streaming until I feel like stopping. This isn't like my main channel where like I'm doing it as a job and I'm maintaining a personality the whole time. Like I'm just being me, just relaxing. I've got my feet kicked up. I'm in my sweatpants and sweatshirt and all comfortable and ready for bed and everything. And just, you know, programming because this is what I'd be doing anyway. So I'm both programming and talking to chat. Living the dream. Alright, so we got blueprints. Let's not get distracted. Next, I'm going to create a new class and call it crafting.cs. Alright, so let's start with the numbers. So let's just say public static J array. We got to add the extension for it. You're programming thigh-high socks. Oh man. Oh, I missed chat's high IQ jokes. Oh man. All right. Public static J array. Public static Jarray. Jerome. Public static Jerome. Set your speed to 1.25 times and you'll see. Actually, yeah, you can do that in live streams and it'll get you to like the closest possible point to real life. And then it'll stop when you get there. It'll reset back to 1x. Some programmer at YouTube thought of that so they didn't break the time-space continuum. Tim F. Yeah, that's the new XP formula. You can see that right here, actually. So this is that formula in programming speak. So we take the ceiling of whatever that calculates out to, math.pow level to 2.75d times 2 plus 20 times level plus 50. Ceiling means the next number. And then we do that in JavaScript too. Way down here. So that it's calculated from the client side. Anyway, you're distracting me. So get level 1 items. I don't like how the 1 is in the middle of that name. That's going to get confusing easily. Let's say get items level 1. So we're going to return new J array. Which is just going to have how's this going to work? Hold on, let me open supply so I'm actually looking at something. This is just generation. Can minimize this stuff. This is all the basic items. We can minimize all these either. Or all these two either is not the correct English word to use there. Alright, now we've got our craftable items. Shovel head, charged core, and shovel. So, I'm just going to put all these in level 1 now for debugging. So we're just going to say JObject, shovel head, and we're going to say supplies.get name from ID. That's not the one that we want. We want get from name. So we're getting the actual item. Copy this 3 times. So we've got shovel head, charged core, and shovel. Oh, I can't forget while we're here. While we are here, we have to... So yeah, we have the weight, but we also have to add craft count. No, not counts, time. Craft time. Craft time is for charged core. That's pretty complicated. Let's make it... You know, for debugging, I'm going to leave it low, but when I publish it to live, I'll make it more balanced. Just make it like 10 for now. Craft time for that is 10. Craft time for this I'm getting rid of stack, actually. I'm just going to delete this where I see it because it's annoying me. We got rid of it, so there's no need for it anymore. So craft time for shovel head is going to be 4. Charged core is going to be 15. For shovel itself, it's going to be just like 6. T-First just posted something in Discord. What is that? That sounds interesting. Starting the book with a cringy cryptic message I just read. That's actually funny. Like I said, I didn't like a lot of how it was written before. I rewrote a lot of the book. I actually entirely rewrote that beginning part because I did not like how cliche it sounded to start with like you said, a cringy cryptic message. I rewrote the first sentence entirely. It is not like that at all anymore. Here, I'll actually open the book real fast and read it to you guys because I actually really like how it sounds. I really like what I did with it. I'm really proud of what I made. A rusty knife. Let's just add this while that opens up. Rusty knife is going to take 5. These are completely arbitrary numbers right now. Fire extinguisher is not craftable. Unfortunately, you have to find it. But you can craft the rusty knife out of wooden stick and scrap metal. You can craft the shovel out of wooden stick and shovel head. You can craft the charged core out of a bunch of electronic components. And shovel head is crafted with, yeah, just 3 scrap metal. Well, what the heck? Oh, never mind. I thought that was appearing on the stream, but it was actually just on my laptop. What the heck? Why do you want my password? Just let me log in, please. Alright, where is my book? The rewritten version. Yeah, Scenarios Remaster is what I called it. I'm 7 chapters into rewriting it, and there's like 13 total chapters, so I'm like halfway done. I wrote a lot of it over the summer, but then I thought of The Travelers and haven't worked on it since because I really want to do The Travelers. All right, here's the rewrite. For those that have read the book, you're going to think this is super cool. For those that have not read the book, you're probably still going to think this is okay. I don't know. Maybe you'll think it's cringy because I'm reading it. So this is how the book begins. It's much better than the original thing that you're reading in Discord. Here's what it says. Out of nothing, a mind came forth from an absolutely empty universe. Before it could take note of its sudden existence, the entity felt knowledge pour inside of it. It observed curiously as these sudden thoughts revealed the nature of humanity, a species that lived on a planet they called Earth. It then knew sensations and feelings that humans commonly go about in their lives. It understood cities, suburbs, farms, when to communicate, eat, or sleep. But it did not physically exist in this imagination, nor had it ever experienced anything itself. Its life was sudden, existing instantly. Another moment passed, and this strange prior knowledge had filled its mind completely, almost overwhelming it with memories it never had owned. It was a disembodied entity, a set of thoughts occurring nowhere that actually existed. It was nothing, and it was everything. Where did these vague memories come from? Could it be human? The mind explored this thought. It spoke their language. It was sentient. It knew how their lives worked, but it did not have a body. No gender, no apparent purpose. Perhaps it was simply unconscious? A fact jumped in from its prior knowledge, revealing that if it were unconscious, it would be unable to actively think as it was now. So how, where, why did it exist? What if its life ended? Then it began to doubt whether it even had heard a voice. So long ago its life had began. Was it making that up? Was it trying to find a way to make sense of this non-reality? Was its first thought a derivative of schizophrenia, and this small mind and sense of self it knew wasn't even sane? The fear bit through its being, and as nothing continued to happen, its mind fell into a greater and greater sense of instability. It questioned everything it could about itself, the unknown origin of everything causing its terror to deepen. The minutes passed. It grew horribly expectant of something, anything to happen. It wanted to be free of this mental prison. It wanted to be more than just alive. Its sanity dipped more and more until it began to lose its sense of individuality. It was nothing, and it was everything. The existential crisis raged through the mind, feeding off it and filling it with pure terror. It had no vision or hearing or feeling or taste or smell. It was not apparently human in any way. It desperately searched its prior knowledge for something, anything to explain its predicament. But it found only one explanation that caused its turmoil to settle for a moment. It was dead. Once a human, now dead, it would be trapped thinking forever. It probably had been a human some time before the voice, but it did not even know if it was male or female. Actually, that's a typo because I removed the voice, so I should change that sentence. Anyway, it had no name, no purpose, just emptiness and nothingness. But that couldn't be true. The voice that it heard had told it was only an experiment. Yeah, that's all. I forgot to rewrite that, apparently. An experiment. Time continued to pass endlessly, and the mind struggled to keep its sanity. Panic and pure terror ripped at the essence of its very thoughts, and the primal, instinctive fear that defined it now encompassed it completely. It was incapable of more thought than fear and hope. Hope that anything would save it from this aching pain. Nothing was everything, and everything was nothing. A long time passed. Commenced the experiment. Suddenly the void was filled with a thunderous echo, a powerful volume of stimulants that the mind's prior knowledge interpreted to be sound. Words had appeared from what it now knew was silence, forming the first sentence it had ever heard. It was uncertain what this sentence could mean or what it should determine of its eventual fate. What was the nature of this experiment that was starting? At least something, anything had happened. It now had something to mull over in the silence ringing through its mind. It was nervous about whether this experiment would be a positive or negative experience for it, but at least it could stifle the great panic and fear that dominated it so recently. Now it could be patient, its crisis fading to memory, waiting for the experiment that would come soon. Much time passed, but the mind had learned patience, knowing that if it simply watched the nothingness that encompassed it, the beginning of the experiment would eventually come. Time was easier to understand now that it could measure a distance between its first and second memory, and it could ease into self-assurance that at the very least, a new event would happen soon. The first color it ever saw was red. And I'm going to stop there. So there you go. That's the rewrite. It's much better. And it still has, it still has the vague initial, the vague, cringy sentence, but it fits in a lot better now. The book doesn't start with it. You have the crisis before that even happens. And then, yeah, it's much, much better. So, yeah, what you're reading on that paste bin is so much worse than what I just read to you. Because what you read on that paste bin is at least 4 years old, and then it took me 3 years to write it. So all of the text in there is just super old me writing, and it's not that good. But all this new stuff is really great because I've really refined it. Because I want to try to get it published. There's a website that I found called agentquery.com where you can send transcripts to literary agents and they'll read it if it's good. So I'm really trying to make this as good as possible. You're actually wrong. The second color it saw was green and then blue before it saw alpha. Anyway, I'm wasting time. I keep letting myself get distracted. So craft time is on everything that has craft equals true now, which means that we can get to work. So shovel and rusty knife. So I think rusty knife is the only thing I forgot here, because I had to put it on rusty knife. 3 craftable items are shovel head, charged core, shovel, rusty knife, and you can't craft a fire extinguisher, so yeah, it's these 4. Toro, will our points be taken away after the update? Your XP will stay the same, but your levels associated with the XP, since level gain is being nerfed, your levels will change, and because your levels are changing, I will be resetting all of your skill points back to whatever your level is, -1. And all of your skill point associations, like, if you've upgraded your health or stamina, will all be reset back to 0. Should we use your points before they go to the void? Well, it's not going to matter. I'm going to remove them anyway. You're only going to have as many skill points as your new level. So if you're like level 100 before and after the update, you're level 50, I'm resetting everything and then giving you 50 skill points anyway. So do whatever you want with your levels. It's not going to change anything. Is there a penalty for resetting skill points? Yes. So right now in 0.0.7, resetting your skill points will permanently burn 5 skill points, but that's bad because then your account is just screwed unless you die. So the way it will be in the update is you actually physically lose 5 levels. So 5 levels will disappear, and that way your account isn't totally ruined. So there's still a punishment, there's still a penalty for it, but it's not like you're permanently ruining how many skill points you can have without dying. I love how much of a meme fire extinguisher has become. I'm going to have to make sure that stays a really rare item. Our Lord and Savior fire extinguisher. Yes. Alright, so what was next here? So, a big problem with starting with something like this conceptually is that you there's a lot of different directions I have to cover. So it's going to take me a lot of time to plan everything out in my head. So like as I keep thinking of this, I'm like, all right, what do I even start next with? So from here, so we added the items to crafting. So I think I'm going to do this next. We only send the craftable item list to the client on login, level up, and blueprint activation. T-First, thank you for posting that. Yeah, if you're level 100 now, you'll be 63 after the update. And there's a soft cap around 150. Should be like Shell Shock Live, where you can reset skill points every week. It could be like every 2,000 cycles or something. Well, 2,000 cycles is like 2 hours. But I get the idea. Maybe. I'll consider it. I think there should be a penalty. You shouldn't be able to just... my problem with it is that I don't want people to just max out carry, and then as soon as an enemy appears on the screen, you get rid of everything in carry, and then rearrange everything to whatever you want. So, yeah, I don't want that. I want there to at least be a penalty if you're going to do that. Can't wait to use this brand new XP exploit. Dude, if you find an XP exploit, then go ahead by all means. I love that people can exploit it. Alright, so let's set up the craftable item list being sent. So we're going to go to time, which is how cycles work. It's not going to be in here. Crafting I want to happen at any time except maybe during battle, but I haven't set up battle yet, so I'm not going to stop the crafting process from happening while battling. So, alright, so on login, we got to go to default.aspx. That's going to be the first place that it gets sent to you. So start connection here. And reformat old players. I'm going to have to add blueprints somewhere here. Exists add blueprints. Exists add is a cool little extension method that I made, which apparently doesn't work. Oh, okay, yeah, blueprints new JArray. My bad. Cool little extension method that I made. Basically, it just says if it doesn't exist, add it. So the problem is if I just put .add here, which is the default option, it'll break if it already exists. It'll throw an error saying the key already exists. So exists add is my extension method that says if it doesn't contain the key, add it with a new token. Otherwise, just do nothing. So yeah, Jerome. Wait, to me using the point reset a bit ago won't matter? It will not matter. Yeah, you can do whatever you want right now. Whenever I finish crafting is when I'm going to push 0.0.8. It's possible I can finish it tonight, but I don't think I'm going to finish it within the next 40 minutes. I want to stop streaming at 10 o'clock, which is 37 minutes from now for me. So you can see the time right down here. Good luck with crafting, Taraga Dev. I'm going to go nap. Good night, Red Tech Engineer. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Leave a like before you go if you haven't, but there's 20 likes on the stream, so probably. Oh, no, I forgot. You're not supposed to do the rule of YouTube. We had 12 people watching, and then I mentioned I was leaving at some point in time eventually, and 5 people left. I'm telling you, that's like a big YouTube rule. You do not mention that you're leaving and ending the stream until you're about to end the stream, or you're going to lose your viewers. Oh, I was so good about that back when I was a professional YouTuber. Now I'm just throwing viewers away willy-nilly. Okay, so reformat old players has that. Anyway, end rant. So start connection. Wait, what is this doing here? If memory.user ID contains key loot, add supplies loot? Data.add supply. Oh, right. Yeah, there's no need for that. Because I'm pretty sure reformat old players is adding loot automatically now. Or at the very least, when you first sign up. Reformat old players is adding loot, right? Is it not? Okay, loot is optional, I think. Okay, let me check again. Not that. Where's initialize? Loot. Okay, we are adding loot. So this is just adding an empty J object no matter what. So it definitely exists. So I'm just going to go ahead and just say data.add supplies. Yeah, why not? And then there's just going to be an empty J object if they don't have it. Just discovered dark mode. Nice, dude. Dark mode, best feature. I'm going to put this up here just so that's grouped together. And yeah, we got our like event calculations and stuff. This is a mess. Don't even look at this. It's actually not a mess. It's just very complicated. I just don't want to look at it again because it works, and I don't want to screw with it if it works. Your wall of text lounge? It depends on what the wall of text is. If it's spam, then don't put it anywhere. But if you have something legit to say, then go ahead. Yeah, lounge is fine. It's about the game. Yeah, sure. Why not? Alright, so anyway. So now we are going to do this as well. Data.add blueprints. And then mem.userid blueprints. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's do this for loot too. Just in case I forget. Oh nice, I just got charged for my phone service. Thank you, my email. Thank you very much, email, for letting me know that you just charged me 20 bucks. Okay. What's next? So, alright, so yeah, this is easy. We're just adding the blueprints J array. Actually, whoa. That's not right. Is it? Oh yeah, it's fine. I gotta cast this as a J array, I think. And this is a J object, just to be safe. No, I don't have to. Wait, how does this know? Is this just a J token? Yeah, it's just a J token. Okay, so it interprets it anyway, so it's fine. Because I know this was definitely being used and then interpreted as a J object when it got to the client before, so it's fine. Alright, so blueprints are being added. Where were the other places that I said? So, on client on login, that's done. On level up, and blueprint activation. Alright, blueprint activation we'll get to. Okay, to Mad Hatter. Wait, Gavin, are you the Mad Hatter? Wait, are you the Mad Hatter? Like the Mad Hatter from like 4 years ago from Team Pepsi? Are you serious? You're alive? Pepsi boy, if you're not here right now, you need to see this. This man is alive. Alright, anyway. Alright, game questions / shots. Limit reached should last a little longer? I don't know what that means. No, there will be no global chat. I want this game to be lonely. Are houses and cities randomly generated, and how does loot respawn if it does? If loot lost from game on death. Right now, loot is destroyed when you die, but I want loot to... in one of the patches after 0.0.8, I'm going to make loot spawn next... Or like the loot... When you die, the loot is going to appear next to the place where you died. So when someone walks up to it, they'll see a pile of stuff next to a house and know that someone died there. Let me actually add that to my notes because I think I forgot to put that there. Dropped loot appears outside place when die. There, I'll understand that when I read that later. Whoa, there's so much conversation happening here. Limit reached should last a little longer. I still don't... Can you explain that, please? I don't understand what that means. Houses and cities randomly regenerated. Yes. 5 days for houses and 20 days for cities. Loot just respawns with the same loot tables. It's not exactly the same. It's randomly generated each time, so you're not going to get the same loot for every city and house every 5 and 20 days. The limit reached when filling inventory. Yes. So, as it is currently in the game, there's a per item limit. In the next update, there will be inventory, and it will be a weight-based system. So each item has its own weight, and weight is calculated based on how many of each item you have. So that'll be much better. Oh, limit reached when filling inventory. That's lasting longer. I was talking about the blink is really short. Um, I, I mean, I thought it was fine. I don't know. I think that's gonna have to be something more people complain about because no one's really complained about it yet, and it's happened to a lot of people. So I'm gonna leave that. Um, anyway, where was I? Some end of path options when in events exit the event while others don't. Example is tent versus subway paths in cities. Leaving an event is always going to be the word leave. I will not be using the word leave in any way other than to say you are leaving the event. So I guess that if that's what your question is, some end of path options when an events exit the event while others don't. Yeah, it's always the word leave. So leave means you're leaving the event. So that I guess I should clarify that at some point. But if it's not the word leave, you're stuck in the event. That's basically what it is. Regen, stamina, and health at 2x while not moving. That's actually a great idea. Like if you're... or actually, you know what? Maybe not. That would just be annoying, I think. I feel like people would be annoyed. Like that's not even really a balance thing. That just doesn't have to be there. There's no reason to punish you for moving. The whole point of the game is to move. So I don't think that would be a good mechanic. I think in other games that would have a good place, but not in the Travelers, where the whole point of the Travelers is to travel as much as possible. So I'm going to disagree with that one. Regen based on percent of max rather than 1 point per cycle. No. 1 point per cycle will nerf people who have huge amounts of health and upgrades. So that's going to stay. Add changelog page or pages for release. There's actually a changelog channel in development, and I'm also keeping... or changelog channel in the Discord. I'm keeping track of it. And when I eventually build like a forum or something into the actual thetravelers.online domain, I will be implementing the changelog. Have ampersand representing your traveler blink so that it's easily spotted and you can see what is below. Yes, that's actually... I think I deleted that from the list at some point. That is intended. If you're standing on top of something that's not a normal world item, I want it to blink to show what's beneath it. I actually did think of that already, but I forgot. So I'm going to put that on the list. Blink to indicate standing on something. Thank you for reminding me of that, because I actually totally forgot. I understand it's not as simple as hiding / showing, as the character below isn't really rendered below the traveler at the current time. Yeah, but I can just store that in a variable. So when you stand on something, rather than returning just u.traveler, I can store bottom tile somewhere first, and then return u.traveler and derive tile. I'm speaking Chinese right now, but anyway. If I select double step but don't have the stamina, the bug gets inactive on next cycle, and I will double step as soon as I hit 10 with... Really? That's weird. That's actually interesting. Let me check. Okay. So you're saying is I click it, and then it deactivates, but then when I hit 10, it goes down all the way? Hold on. Let's let that go. So this should go... This should double step now? Wow, look at that. It does. Does it double step again when it hits 10? That's a really interesting bug. Let me write that down. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fix that right now. That's really interesting, actually. Why does that do that? What does... Alright, what does it... I'm going to fix that right now because I'm curious. That's a really interesting bug. Engine.double step is what I called it. So socket.send. So socket to stand action double step. So it adds it. Oh, okay. All right. So this is actually sending it to the server, and the server keeps it in queue. So I'm just going to say if xp dot stamina. No, xp.sp less than. Ooh, yeah, greater than 10. We'll send it. Otherwise, we'll skip it. There we go. That fixes that. Fixed double step queuing wrongly. Thank you for pointing that out. That's actually a really good bug report. In the events window, the opacity added to older text mixes with the z-index. Does it? What's your browser? I haven't seen that before. I've tested that on both Chrome and like this down here, right? I've tested that in both Chrome and Firefox. This looks fine. If you don't feel like resolving your z-index, then consider changing your padding. Oh, actually, all right. Pepsi Boy did report that, and I did fix that. If you're talking about the actual events word here, then that is fixed. As you can see right here, I'm scrolling and it's not affecting it. Let me force it to have opacity though, just to prove the point. Scroll up, see, and it's still working even though it's opaque. As for exits, sometimes it kicks you out of a location or sometimes it lets you try other options. It should be consistent. Yeah, it's always the word leave. The word leave is the one that kicks you out of the event. If you don't see the word leave, you're not leaving the event. So there's your hint. I'll put that into the game as a tutorial at some point, as part of the tutorial, to explain that better. But I'm glad that someone pointed out that was confusing. Let's read everything else that was said. Coding notes. Well, I'll read those in a minute. I just want to make sure I haven't missed any conversation here. I agree with the TypeScript. Did you just say that I should program in TypeScript? Are you serious? Hold on. I gotta read the. I was gonna read these coding notes after the stream, but if you're saying something about TypeScript, hold up. Coding notes. You won't ever really need lambda expressions, but you can drastically reduce your lines of code by learning it. It's worth looking into at least. Yeah, I never learned how to do them, so I probably should. I like the use of curly braces all the time, as it makes things a little more readable and decreases chances of bugs. What, do people not program like this? Are you talking about people who will put this like on one line like this? Like this kind of deal? Specifically one-line if statements? Yeah, the only time I will do a one-line if statement is either with a ternary or if I'm doing something like... where's engine? I'm already here, actually. If I'm doing something like this, where it's just going to take up a lot of space, but you already know I'm just saying, if JSON.state is undefined, u.state equals JSON.state. Like, there's no need for me to put curly braces there, because if I did, then this would take up the entire page. So, that's the only time I'll do that. Otherwise, I do it pretty much everywhere, as you can see here. Because, like, if these didn't have it, it would be confusing because they don't all do the same thing. Using concrete objects and inheritance will be more efficient than using dictionary/maps in the C# code around items. Using concrete objects and inheritance will be more efficient than using the dictionaries/maps in the code behind items. Are you talking about my use of memory lists? My mem.cs with the dictionary things? You can use Lombok. I have no idea what Lombok is. With a single annotation to add all getters and setters. Is that like a library? Because I avoid libraries wherever I can. Using Newtonsoft annotations, the serialization will be simple as well. I'm already using Newtonsoft with the J-objects and stuff. If you insist on using dictionary/maps, then at least create constants to represent the string keys. I do wherever I can. If I use a string key more than once, I'll add it to a string, but otherwise I'll call it directly because it's more efficient. Which I think should be obvious. I don't think I need to explain that. Let me find an example in XP. So like this, I call it like this because I'm using it once. But get user level here, same idea. But since this is being called more than once, I store it into an integer and put it on both of these. But if I was only calling it once, then I would add it directly to it, if that's what you're saying. TypeScript is actually really nice. Allows compiling of your JavaScript code, actually decent inheritance with the right IDE. You get type checking and true autocomplete like you would with C#. Using actually types in JS makes it so much cleaner and more readable. Yeah, but I am extremely adamant about doing things as minimally as possible and with relying on as few libraries as possible. Which is not TypeScript. I don't even think, like, I don't know. I'm adept enough at JavaScript that I don't need the things that you're talking about. Like, actual types in JS and decent inheritance and true autocomplete and stuff. Like, I don't need that stuff. Like, I'm using vanilla JavaScript. It makes it faster, and I'm confident that the code that I write will be more efficient than what TypeScript can compile. Public constant string skills equals skills. Well, I get it, but if it's a short word, I don't see the need to declare an entire variable just for an anonymous string. Like, yeah, I use it multiple times here, but I don't like, I'm typing the exact same thing. Like, if I declare a string and then put skills in here, I'm typing the same thing as I would anyway. I'm never going to change this from being skills. See, there's things that I change, like up here. This stuff I change, and I have to change sometimes, so I put them way up here. I do this. But like skills, I'm never going to change, so there's no need to create a variable that's the exact same length to write. I mean, yeah, I guess I get autocomplete with it, but I don't see a need for it. It's because it's already in a database. All the info is already stored in the database, so I'm definitely never going to change it. I mean, I get the idea. Using constant will also save memory. Will it? Because this is just calling the key. As far as I'm aware, C# would be able to optimize something like that. I believe, as far as I'm aware, a modern compiler would work. Would be able to simplify something like that. I don't know. Again, I don't see a need for that specifically. Your interest level in this may be low considering your lack of classes in the C# code, but I'd argue it's far easier to maintain, refactor, and less buggy with actual classes. So yeah, a lot of what I did was with J objects and J arrays because it's already more efficient to just use those and then send it straight to the client and it's automatically serialized. Whereas if I make my own classes, most of the time I'm going to have to serialize them into a J object and then serialize that back into a string to send to the client. So it takes more calculations and stuff, whereas I can just trust that I'm going to remember and keep track of these numbers. I don't run into bugs too much, so again, I get what you're saying, but I don't have a need for that. For chunks, I absolutely did use my own class for. I'll open that up real fast. Public class chunk down here. Yeah, that could not be done with JObjects, and that's entirely server side. The client never sees chunks, so that's why I made a class out of it. So that was my mentality for that. In Visual Studio, you can rename a variable / function by right-clicking it and selecting refactor rename. It will change throughout your C# code base. Yeah, I know that. You can also do it by just backspacing and then doing control dot and rename. That's usually how I do it. I'll just rename it and then control dot. If you use the same name in JavaScript, you'll need to do a find / replace there. Yeah. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I'm just commenting on these. So this is like my style as a developer. Everyone has different styles. Like you just said, all just suggestions. I won't argue on the points, so we can just disagree. Yeah, that's fair. Again, everyone develops differently. Everyone's comfortable doing things differently. I know I can definitely see how some of what you said would be easier for some people, for other people. For me, I don't see those things as easier for myself, and I like the way that I made this, which that's why I made it the way that I made it, because it's entirely my own project. But yeah, I'm not gonna argue or say my way is superior or anything. It's just all different methods to do the same thing. And finally, for absolutely positioned items, consider using left, right, rather than having to calculate width. It depends on the object, because, for instance, this little guy down here, this guy needs to have an exact width, so when I stretch the screen, it doesn't change. Because this is, like, when I move it up and down, it sticks to the bottom of the screen, so I'm pretty sure it's absolutely positioned with width. Game info here. Left, right, 0, and then... Oh no, this is actually a position... Or sorry, a display block. I do that in other places, but I get what you're saying. h2.side section title. What do I do? With 100%. Oh yeah, I could totally just do right 0 for that. You're right. Yeah, there's. I'm not going to change it now, but I get what you're saying. Sure. Wow, that was like 30 minutes of just talking about code in the game and stuff and not getting anything done. Jeez. I appreciate the discussion, though. I like talking about stuff like that. And it's also good to see you alive, Mad Hatter. Gavin. Good to see you still exist. Where was I? So I was adding blueprints to initialize player data. Default.cs, we're adding the user blueprints. Right, that's where we were. So on level up, blueprint activation, login. We just did client logins. Now we got to go to XP. And on level up, which is, where's level up? There's a broadcast level up. So this is probably called within the level up. That would make sense, right? Add XP and check level up, and then return check level up. So this is where it is. So this is just going to say wait, this is just checking. Okay. Oh, okay, we just right here just set the new level. Alright, so now we're gonna say this. We're gonna take this. Let's do I call that anywhere else? No. So we're just going to say new level +1. No. There's a reason I call it like that, and that's because we're in a while loop here. I'm going to avoid that. So when we get to the outside here, this is where we're going to call it. So we're going to say int new level equals that, and then if new level is greater than 0. I'm just going to put it into a greater than 0 for now. Then we're going to broadcast I really should make a function that's just broadcast value. Why did I never do that? I've been doing this broadcasting throughout the entire... throughout this entire game, and I never just consolidated that into one function. I can make that real fast, actually. Actually, maybe there's a reason why I didn't do it like that. Do you still talk to Fit at all? No. String key. I'm not going to do it like this. I'm going to avoid a headache there, because I could screw up the way that this first key gets added. Alright, so to broadcast, we're going to broadcast William Alfred said, yes, that's my fake name. What? Crafting is not exists? Oh, it's because it did the .app code because Visual Studio sucks. Crafting .get items level 1. So that is going to add our items if you're any level greater than 0. So when you log, wait, I got to do replace add. Just in case this somehow gets called twice, I want to replace it. I want to replace it entirely. And then anything after this, okay. All right, so that is that. Straightforward. So now we have it on login, on level up, and blueprint activation, which we will get to blueprints eventually. Right now, I just want to finish crafting. So this means that the client is getting the crafting items no matter what. So I guess we need to build that on the client side now, I think. Yeah, I think that's ready for client. What did I call this? I already forgot what I called this. Time, common. Where the heck did I put this? Default? Supplies, crafting. No, it was an XP on level up. Right. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move this into crafting. I actually don't even need to. You know what? I will pass it in there, but I don't technically need to because I could just call xp.getUserLevel. And then, so I don't get confused again, we're going to move this into here. Let's say crafting dot Broadcast new level is what we're going to call it instead, because broadcast new crafting is a stupid name. Alright, cool. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Let's make charged core a level 10 item. Just so that we can have this in place here. So merge add is going to get the new J object, go through every token, and add it. I gotta make one of these for crap. I'm gonna make one of these for J array. That easy, I think. Theoretically, it's that easy. Wow, 10 people watching, but chat is dead silent. What happened, guys? Where'd your voices go? Cat got your tongue? Okay, so for each token, new job, this is just a J token. Nice and innocent. We're just going to add it to the original J array. And that should be simple. Alright, wait, this is a J object up here. I'm alive doing dishes, listen to keyboard ASMR. Alright, sorry, you guys can get back to what you were doing. Sorry to distract you. My bad. Anyway, this is J object. So if we're adding new items, this is going to be job.add. I'm going to use my other merge add here, I think. Key. And this is wrong because it's not J object. I'm going to call this craft merge add and then cast this as a J object, since craft items will only have a J object. I don't want to do that. I don't want to call this merge add as though it can take any J token and then confuse myself in the future, since it actually can't. So that should be fine. What big things have you done / worked on? I actually talked a lot. I didn't get a lot done because I was procrastinating. Sorry. We're still working on crafting in the back end. All right, so let's just run through this real fast, make sure this works. So we replace add craft items. We delete craft items from broadcast, and then we add it again. New level is greater than 9. We go and we say, for every J object in this J array, for every J object in this new J array, we are going to merge add to the key the J object. That makes sense. And merge add definitely works because I tested this a bunch before. Job doesn't contain key, we add the key. Otherwise, for everything in the properties, we add according to the jprop.name and then the value. Place.add takes the J token. All works. Unless it doesn't, but I guess we'll find that out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Alright, got items level 1, got items level 10. Level 10 will be the charged core. Level 1 will be these 3 basic items. Cool. That's pretty nice, I think. Alright, so craft items. Now I need to get to the client once again. JSON.craft items. Actually, what level am I in game? I'm level 4. So I'm going to, just for testing purposes, we're going to make this if we're greater than or equal to level 2. That way, if I have all 4 of those items at the client, then I know that craft merge add is working properly. So I'm going to I actually am going to test that. So if JSON.craft items doesn't equal undefined, we're just going to log it for now. So available craft is based on level, yes. We got the whole outline right here if you want to rewind and watch this and pause it. Right, we're gonna test this. Oh, there's a bug. What's the bug? New level? Right. Forgot that one. Oh, well, if I'm not passing the new level into it anyway, then I'm just going to get rid of this and say int new level equals xp.get user level user ID. Hi Cholesterol, hello! Welcome to the stream. Oh crap, did it bug again? No, it didn't. Cool. Welcome to the stream, we are developing. Alright, please, please, please do not show me an error. It showed me an error. Oh, I broke something. Oh. That's upsetting. Cannot add property blueprints to newtonsoft.json.link.object. Property name already exists on the object at line 44. Start connection. What's at line 44? Oh, it's just reformat old players is broken? Exists add is broken? Why is it... What? Nice, Ivan. Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. It's not the most original collection of ideas, but I think it'll be very cool when it's implemented. When it is built. I don't know why exists add is failing. This is a tried and true function. You go with a lot less profanity than I used to. I don't curse at all, so there you go. So why is it saying the problem is at line 44, but it's not referring to reformat old players? Should be able to know that it's in here. I mean, I could open the database and look at the error, but I don't want to do that on stream. Working on cars and coding are my downfall. I mean, this has gotta be the issue, right? Okay, so that's not the issue. Hello, Do Freedom. Welcome to the stream. We are programming away. I'm just going to look everywhere in the entire solution this is trying to be added. Initialize player data. It's not that. Player up blueprints. I actually totally forgot that I made that. So I'm going to say it's funny, actually, I forgot that. Is your worldview screen larger? No. I could make it larger, but that's a waste of time. I have a larger screen on the raw JavaScript version on my laptop that I can speed around in. I gotta wrap this up soon. It's past 10. I gotta get ready for bed. Freaking Mad Hatter distracted me for like an hour. Nah, it's good to have you back, man. Oh, duh. This is already doing a deep clone of user data. So that's why Blueprints is already on here. Well, now I just feel stupid. Any estimate on when Kratz will be released? Not going to finish it tonight. But tomorrow I will be working on nothing but that now that I fixed all the other bugs and improvements. So hopefully, with luck, the update will be out tomorrow. Alright, so we logged on, but we didn't get... Oh no, it's because we sent blueprints, that's right. We sent blueprints to the client. We did not send crafting items. Alright, we're going to extrapolate this to a new method we're going to say. So we're going to pull this into here instead. And in broadcast new level, we're going to say get items user ID. Oh, hold on. Selecting items, new JArray. Is that how that works? Actually, don't remember how you're supposed to populate a JArray. Did I do it somewhere else? I hope I did it somewhere else. Good, Bill. Looking forward to the update. Take care. See you, Mad Hatter. Good to see you again after all this time. Have a nice life. Where the heck do I do fancy stuff with JArrays? There's a place, but I can't remember. Was it events? No. Nope. Bye, Jacko. Thanks for joining. Gotta be somewhere in here then. Job standard 9 to 5. By working solely tomorrow, do you mean after 5? Yeah, it's standard 9 to 5, full time. Alright, I don't think I ever declared a JArray in an actual list like I'm trying to right now before. So just for the sake of safety, just gonna do this. Wow, this is really ugly. Wow, that's super ugly. Oh no. No. This is a JArray. I don't actually have to do any of that because I'm already doing that right here. Okay. And then we're going to do job. We're going to... This is also sloppy, but I actually don't know how I should do this. I don't know if I can just add it directly. I probably can, but I'd just rather do this to be safe. Okay, this has got to be replace add. And then I can get rid of this. Job.craft merge add to craft items. Okay, items level 10. And then we say broadcast new level. Get items, the JArray that's inside of it. No, we are going to do this as a JArray. Wait, are we? We are. For now. Alright, so now we're going to say crafting.get items. Come back to here. Data.add. Alright. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, it broke. God, broke. Line 44 again. Still reformat old players? Yeah, this has to be a Jerry. I mean, that's technically right. And then we just do this. Alright, let's publish this. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to bed and we'll figure it out tomorrow because I'm tired and I'm probably not doing as good because I'm tired. Nope. Oh, there's actual error though now. Crafting.cs line 18. Oh, craft merge add is breaking. I'm just, alright, how about this? If I copy this out, or comment this out, will this work? It's my only question. No, it doesn't. Line 16 it fails. Yeah, by the way, I'm doing this like entirely wrong because I'm tired and I was just trying to finish this and it's just super wrong. Super wrong. Alright, I'm going to end the stream. Thanks guys for watching. I'm tired. I'm just going to leave this all open and get back to it tomorrow. So, thanks for watching and goodbye.